What's going on, guys? Your boy Maze here, back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over this post here from Seatin asking Grand Cross players a few questions and how they actually feel about the game. So we're going to be going over my thoughts on these questions, guys, and giving my reasoning for each thing that Seatin has to ask the community here. If you guys want to respond to Seatin, feel free to go to his Twitter right here and go to this tweet that he actually made. You guys can respond with your thoughts as well there, or you can comment it down below and let me know what you guys think as well. But with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's discuss. Before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to the 50,000 subscribers. If you guys have not hit that sub button already, man, what are you guys doing? You know, we literally just hit 41k around not even like a week ago now. And yeah, no, we are definitely on the grind, man. So let's hop in, guys, and let's go over Seatin's post here on Grand Cross. So he says, for the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross players over the last 2 years, what do you believe are the best and most fun pieces of content that they added to the game and why? And then what are the best and most fun characters they've added to the game and why? And then also, on the other hand, what do you believe are the worst and least fun pieces of content they've added in the game? And then what are the worst and least fun characters they've added into the game? And then he said he's just interested to hear some thoughts, and he appreciates any response. So we're doing a video response here, as you guys can see, because I feel like if I was to type it out on this post, it would take a little bit too long to actually do it. So let's actually open up Grand Cross here, guys, and go to some of the things in the game where we can kind of discuss the content. Now, if we go to the battle tab here, this pretty much covers all the main content that Grand Cross has to offer. And over the last 2 years, in my opinion, the best thing that they've added, guys, content wise, in my opinion, is Demonic Beast Battle. You guys know that I love Demonic Beast Battle. Every time I do a guide, I'm super excited to cover it. And the thing is with me, right, like I don't like the fact that Demonic Beast requires specific characters, specifically like a Demonic Beast oriented character to beat it. I like the fact that when it does drop and like throughout the time that it's out, people have to strategize and find teams that can actually beat each of the fights that make them super difficult. So, you know, for the bird, for the deer, skull and hottie, and nidhogg, I think all of them are unique to their own thing, and they each provide, you know, holy relics, which is the reason why you want to do this content in the game. Some holy relics are super game changing, guys. Like we look at like Nanashi here, where he pretty much became one of the best backline characters after getting this relic right here, where he increased the unknown allies basic stats by 30 and then the defense related, right? So like there's characters that get super massive buffs with these holy relics in the game, but then there are also other characters as well that don't really get crazy relics. Like we look at like, you know, Ludo here, base Ludo, he just gets like flat stats and there's nothing, you know, crazy with this, right? So there are some times where, you know, we get kind of bad relics, but then we also get some you know, some good ones, and a lot of the ones we've been getting lately with Nidhogg have been very good. Like we look at like Infinity Merlin's here, where she gives damage reduction and basic stats. We look at like Monspeed's here, which is really good because he applies ignites now. He kind of acts like Kyo. So I think, you know, Demonic Beast in general as a content, it provided a lot for the players. You get holy relics for the characters you're using, and it's a weekly content. It's not something you have to farm every single day. It's a thing that you can do once a week, or you could farm it if you're on the lower difficulties here, where you can do them and continue to get the mats, because they made it so that this material right here is farmable, so you can actually get a guaranteed stage reward for the bird, deer, and skull and hottie. So I do think that it is pretty cool in that right too, if you want to be grinding it. And yeah, I think in general, Demonic Beast has to be my #1 content in the game they've added in the last years. Now, for the worst content though, I think the worst content might go to Heroes Arena, man. For you guys that have done Heroes Arena, if you don't know what it is, it pretty much acts as like Guild Wars, but it's more of like a PvE mode. It does use PvP passes though, so if a character has a PvP passive, they will work in Heroes Arena, but it's more of a thing where you're facing bots that just have set, you know, attacks and what they do. And the problem that I have mainly with Heroes Arena, I'll probably put up some like gameplay or something of Heroes Arena here. We'll see what I could do, because we don't have it out right now on global, but Heroes Arena really, the problem is with me for it is that a lot of Heroes Arena comes down to you either having enough CC to out CC the higher difficulties, or if you're going second, you need to have crazy RNG. The enemies they put in Heroes Arena as like, you know, fights you're fighting are just absurd. You're facing Tyr with Nanashi, Echidna, and Freyr, which is what, you know, 30% basic stats from Nanashi, you get 20% from Freyr, 20% from Echidna, and then Tyr himself has already like 70% basic stats, and he's doing an AoE one bang in your whole team, right? So there is a lot of things with Heroes Arena that I think, like, you know, it is pretty cool with some of the things you can do in it, and some of the strategies that are good for are great. But the problem that I have with the mode is that, you know, for getting a lot of LR coins as well from the mode, which is why it was made. It's really hard to get the like 15 from champion, or even the 20, the 25 or 24, right, from the highest difficulty. That's the main problem with it. You know, it's like super difficult to do the end game, you know, content from Heroes Arena, right? Like you can do master difficulty if you have 300k CC with links, but you can't do 320 or 340 without, you know, having to tank a tier AoE like that, right? So yeah, in my opinion, I think Heroes Arena could definitely be changed a little bit. The devs, if they know what they're doing with Heroes Arena, they can change around some of the mechanics with the enemies, and you know, change up the teams that they have as you know, enemy teams, because a lot of the teams that we be facing are very, very difficult, man. And in my opinion, Heroes Arena, because of that, you know, does suffer as a mode, because a lot of people just don't want to really do it. You know, a lot of people don't really care to do it as much. Yeah, those were like the content that have come out over the last 2 years, though. I know, generally speaking, though, Seatin probably was thinking, like, you know, for things that like are already in the game too. So like he mentions here, like, what are the worst and least fun contents they have added to the game. In the past 2 years, those are the ones that I would say. But you know, in the actual game already, there's some content that people still don't like doing, like training dungeon, you know, reverse stages. There's things in the game that just people don't like doing, man. And you know, we definitely need like revamps. Even like Brawl, right? Like Brawl as a mode definitely needs a revamp. More rewards given and stuff like that could be really good. But yeah, those are my main thoughts here on the content themselves, guys. Now let's actually hop into the character section and talk about my favorite characters that I've released, you know, over the past 2 years now in Grand Cross. I think one of the #1 characters that I think have been done super well as a character is Freyr, and this makes a lot of sense with the way I like Demonic Beast a lot, because you guys know I am you know, definitely a person that loves PvE content in the game, and one of the PvE things that I really like is Demonic Beast battle, and Freyr is good on every single one. And the reason why he's good on every single one is because he has all stats for himself, he's immune to ignites for Skull and Hadi as well, and then he gives all stats to allies every 2 turns, right? For 5 turns you get a 5% all stats increase, which is very nice. So Freyr acts as a damage dealer himself, he acts as a supportive character, and he's also just has really good utility with the ignite block here. And then if you actually look at his skills here, he does have cancel stance, which I think is pretty good as well, to be able to remove the stances. There are a few Demonic Beast battles that require stance removal, so that's definitely a good addition. And then this card right here, Cleave, is a very strong effect where, you know, it's doing additional damage equal to 75% of the critical damage that you're able to do, and it's just guaranteed damage, right? It's just guaranteed. And then Freyr's ultimate here, he took one thing from the one Escanor, if you guys remember, for his ultimate, where you actually have the death damage, where you're able to do, you know, damage past the, you know, damage caps. And in Demonic Beast battle, there's a lot of damage cap. That's kind of the way that they limit character damage, by having that. And you know, Freyr is here able here to bypass a whole damage cap by doing 100% death damage, which is another 100% extra damage. And then you know, the icing on the cake, I think, for his holy relic here is that he's able to be run with applicable allies being Ragnarok or unknown allies, and get up to 20% basic stats with 4 people on the field, and 15% if there's only 3 on the field, right? And then you also do get the either 15% or 20% single target damage dealt for each of the applicable allies as well. So he becomes a really, really strong supportive character, and he's also really good in you know, just being a DPS himself. So Freyr becomes a really good DPS, really good support, and you can now use him in PvP after he got this relic, which made him such a good character in my opinion. So Freyr has to be one of my favorite characters that I've ever released on Grand Cross, just because of the way they've done his kit. And then another character I'd say has a really, really good kit as well would be Trader Meliodas, man. Trader Meliodas is one of my favorite characters as well, because the way they've done his kit, and even without a holy relic, he's just so good, right? You know, Trader Meli, you know, a lot of the things that I like in a character, though, you guys will see from Trader Meli and Freyr, is I like a lot of support for the team, and I like being a DPS character able to do that, right? I like being able to do multiple things at once. So when a character like Trader Meli or Freyr are able to support the team while dealing damage, I think those are great design characters. So we look at here, every time allies use single target attack skills, all of the hero stats will increase by 6% for 3 turns, and stacking up to 5 times. And then if 2 or more single target skills are used in a single turn, allies damage taken will be decreased by 8%, stacking up to 40%. And that is not like a super insane passive nowadays, guys, but back when Trader Meli came out, it was a super, super good, you know, passive ability right there. You got the damage reduction, and then you also got the the hero ally, or you also got the all stats increase for himself, which is very strong. So that alone was really good. And then the all stats also came into play because Melee had amplify, so he did 30% damage per all stats buff on himself, and also any other buffs that he got, which made sure that Trainer Melee was a really strong DPS character. And then his AoE here, his AoE being just like Pierce was just another addition to his kit being strong. And then his ultimate here at the time was one of the strongest ultimates, and even in the PvE game modes where he's able to remove buffs and stances, this comes in clutch on modes where you need a stance removal or you need a buff removal, and Melee's able to do that. And then because it's cleave, it's always guaranteed additional damage because it's 100% of the critical damage, so it's always doing pretty much guaranteed crits, but it's not critting pretty much. That's the way it acts. So it's a very, very strong ultimate right there. And yeah, those would be my two favorite units in the game, just based on like kit design and how well they're able to perform in the game. Now for the worst characters in the game, I'd have to scroll down to some of the characters at the bottom of my box here, but over the past few years, man, there's been a lot of characters that have released, guys. One of the characters, Camilla, what is Camilla's use? Guild boss. But the problem is with her, right, she's a guild boss unit, but she has a buff on the guild boss she's not meant to be using buffs on, right? There's a guild boss that Camilla is really good on, and it is the I think it's Belgius, right? It's the one where you bring unknown fairy or giant characters, and the problem with Camilla is that the boss has over rupture, so if you use a buff skill, you are dying. Like, you are you're not living, right? So Camilla is kind of counterintuitive, right? She gives herself buffs as well from her passive too. Fills the hero's ultimate move gauge by 2 at the start of the knighthood battle, and the hero's ultimate move fills by once when you deal damage. So, and because she has the attack related buff skill here, is not going to be too good when running Camilla on that, right? I think that becomes an issue. Another character that I don't really like as well that has come out in the past 2 years as well is probably Ludo, right? The green Ludo. For you guys that don't know, this guy came out to buff the goddess team, and he did not buff the goddess team. He increases goddess allies attack related stats by 7%, and then increases the hero's damage dealt by 15 per each goddess ally on the battlefield. This is only for his damage dealt, right? This is only Ludo's damage dealt, but then the 7% attack related stats is given to all the goddess allies, so that's fine. But like, it's not a big enough increase to warrant this character being used when we have demon characters that have gotten, like, we look at like Demon Kusak, right? Let's go to Demon Kusak. He is a character that for his passive, he gives way more than 7% attack related. He gives 4 for each demon ally in battle. So you get 12% on a 3v3 mode, and then in 4v4 you get, what is that, 16%? 16% attack related stats versus 7% from Ludo, right? Like, there's obviously a difference in the way Netmarble balances characters, and I get that we had Mael release, so like having a too strong goddess ally could have been really bad for this guy because of the way he was designed, where he cannot be stat lowered in PvP, but having only 7% attack related stats, like, that's just really nothing, man, for the goddess team. So I do think that Ludo was not really a good design character. And there's a lot of characters that came out in 2023 and even 2022 that just weren't good characters in general, man. Just a lot of just characters that have released just to release, and they haven't really done anything for the game. If we just scroll through my box, like literally the bottom half of my box here, guys, I don't use anymore. They're either really old characters or just characters that aren't usable anymore. And so that's definitely the thing I wanted to get across here. Oh, another good example is this Red Goddess Liz. She is not good as well. She's trying to be a PvE character, but we literally have Kizuna in the game, which does everything she does but better, right? And she's not able to be used on Demonic Beast either, so when she's a PvE character, it's a strictly PvE, not Demonic Beast battle though. So you can't even do it on Demonic Beast. You can't even use her on other things. So yeah, there's a lot of characters as well, guys, that have bad kit designs. Yeah, man, those are my answers there for Seatin's questions, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and if you guys want to comment below on Seatin's post as well for your thoughts, feel free to comment it on his post. I'll link it in the pinned comment and in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, man. Peace out and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.